welcome back to another video in the Deal series. Again, I'm Chef Ryan.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Rachel, and we're so happy to have you tuning in today. So today we were talking, or this past week, and it's getting sort of cold, it's winter, and I was complaining to Ryan about how I don't really know what to cook to volume eat vegetables anymore.
Wait, what is volume eating your veggies?
Come on, Ryan, like when sometimes you may have only had like cookies for breakfast or lunch, and you need to get all your veggies in one meal, which is dinner? No, that never happens to you? Whatever. I'm sure it happens to some of you guys out there.
So we're going to do a couple different recipes. You can add any flavor profile you want to these. That's why we really like them. They give you a lot of freedom to make them how you want. So we're going to do a stir fry, because I know Rachel really likes her stir fries. And we're going to use kind of like a soy sauce based sauce for this, but you can feel free to use hot sauce, whatever you want for it.
Or if you have like a prepared, like I have a great stir fry sauce from Weggies, you can easily use anything like that, or a marinade, whatever you like best.
And if stir fries aren't your thing, you can skip to this time above right here, and you can check out our roasted veggie recipe. So we're also going to be roasting veggies, and we're going to do like herb roasted veggies, a lot of root veggies since it's the season for root vegetables. We think these are going to be really good. So, you know the deal.
Let's get cooking.
So we're going to be using a lot of veggies in season. We're going to be using onion, love our onions, easy to pick up anywhere, white onion, sweet onion, we're using a yellow onion. We're going to be using carrots, Romanesco, and scallions. So to prep the onion, we'll cut it in half, peel off the skin, and then we'll follow the onion around, making about half-inch cuts to make nice little strips. And then we'll cut the root end off, and you'll have a nice julienne.
Next, for the Romanesco, you'll cut this a lot like you would broccoli or cauliflower. You can chop the individual florets off the base and then cut the bigger florets into fourths and the smaller florets in half so that they're all around the same size.
And for the carrots, you'll do a longer julienne cut, kind of cutting them like carrot sticks, making sure they're around the same size.
Finally, for the scallions, we're going to cut off the upper dark green part and use that for garnish, and we'll use the lower whitish part to cook in the stir fry. Once you separate it, you can thinly chop both parts.
We're also going to use peas.
Frozen peas, they're easy to pick up anywhere, really cheap, adds a nice flavor.
I don't love peas, so I'm going to be picking mine out.
Okay.
So you can really use any kind of sauce you want, like Weggies, whatever.
Well, Rachel likes Weggies sauces. I like to make my own. So we just threw together everything we like. We chopped up some fresh garlic, threw in some soy sauce.
And you can add this all to taste. We wanted ours to be a little bit sweeter, so we added some honey to the mix.
And we wanted ours to be a little bit saucier since we're putting it over rice. But if you do want yours to be thicker, you could add some cornstarch. It's really whatever you prefer. We're going to add some oil. You can use any type of oil. I would recommend vegetable canola, or if you have it, toasted sesame oil. Sesame oil adds a really nice flavor. I know Rachel really likes sesame oil.
Thank you.
You want to add the onions first because they'll cook a little longer.
And you'll know that they're done when they're a little bit softer and translucent.
After a couple minutes of cooking the onions, add the carrots, Romanesco, and any other hard veggies that you want. Stir to mix them together and put a lid on to steam the veggies and cook them through more evenly.
After a few minutes, the Romanesco will become a brighter green. Then you can add the peas, scallions, and your sauce. Stir them all together and continue stirring to reach a consistency that you want.
So guys, stir fry here, looking really, really tasty and saucy. Really nice. Saucy. We like our stir fry a little bit saucy.
Yeah, and we did that because we're going to put ours over rice. If you look in the description of this video below, we have a great video. It's really quick, like 4 minutes on how to cook rice of all time. It's the best one we've got out there, so we hope that'll be helpful if you do want to cook it with rice. Also, since our stir fry is so saucy, if you want it thicker, you can add a little bit of cornstarch, and that'll make it more of like a viscous, right? SAT word.
So we're going to serve this up and we're going to see how this tastes.
Oh my God, you're back. We're back.
So since you're back,
Time for the second step.
we're going to start on the roasted veggie recipe. So this is a great recipe for root veggies. You can use turnips, beets, squash, potatoes, kind of all of those root and tuber vegetables that are really popular.
So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna start preheating the oven at 400 degrees. I'll go do that.
And again, we're just going to be tossing these with a little bit of olive oil, some salt, pepper, and a little bit of the dried herbs that we have left over. You can do this with anything. You could put hot sauce on it if you want that. You can toss this with whatever flavor profile you like.
Garlic powder.
Make it your own. So we have honey nut squash and Brussels sprouts here. For the honey nut squash, the best way to cut this into cubes for roasting is to first peel it, cut off the top and the bottom, cut it in half, seed it, and then cut it into about half-inch cubes. And for the Brussels sprouts, you want to make sure to wash these after you peel off those dead outside leaves that will just kind of burn in the oven when you're roasting. So peel those off, give these a good wash. For the smaller ones, you can just cut them in half. And for the bigger ones, you can cut them into fourths. What else do we have, Rachel?
I'll tell you what else we have, Ryan. We have 2 root vegetables. We have turnips and beets. Super easy to cut and prepare. All you need to do is make sure that you wash them well because they are root vegetables. They might have some dirt on them. And then cut off the ends. And similar to the squash, you can cube them like half-inch pieces. Yeah.
Again, all these you really just want to be about the same size so that they roast for a similar temperature. You don't get some burning and some not as well cooked. So we want to roast all these, right?
We do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them all in a big bowl. We're gonna add olive oil. We're using about a half cup.
I really like my olive oil. I think it's really good for you and really tasty.
Ryan's gonna get in there.
You don't want too much, but you want enough to really be able to coat. Add a little bit of salt. I'm just using my hands because my hands are clean. I washed them before. Add some pepper.
Ryan likes to be one with the veggies.
Veggies, I am your father.
Veggies, I am your father.
Look at that color scheme. I love
God,
this.
it's so beautiful.
You got like everything in there. So we got this all mixed up. We got our herbs, salt, pepper, and oil in here. It's looking really nice, really pretty.
Already smells good.
Yeah, and we're gonna put this across 2 pans. You don't want too much on any one pan, otherwise they won't cook evenly. So you want about 1 layer, so we're gonna divide this in half. How many pans do you need to put on how many veggies you're cooking? So we got our veggies, I'll spread across our 2 pans evenly. These will cook for about 25 to 35 minutes. Check them at 25 minutes.
You can stick a fork in them.
And see if they're ready. See you in a bit.
Our veggies are out of the oven, ready to eat.
They roasted for about 30 to 35 minutes. I'd say that's probably gonna be what they roast for you. We added a little bit of quinoa. I like mine in a wrap. Gives it a nice kind of burrito style feel. Great for taking on the go for lunch.
And I prefer to have my meals for the week, so I'll eat a little bit out of this for dinner, and then I'll just keep going.
All right.
Tomorrow and the next day.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Our veggies roasted for about 30 to 35
No, our veggies are out of the oven.
Is it recording?
It's actually really good. Should we get a laugh track?
Our veggies are out of the oven.